Right. So for organic chemistry, what we are looking at is if we convert an aldehyde to carboxylic acid, this is again an oxidation. If we convert carboxylic acid to aldehyde, it is called reduction. So this is aldehyde, this is carboxylic acid. ఇప్పుడే స్టార్ట్ చేస్తా, డోంట్ డిస్టర్బ్. నేను పిలుస్తా, ప్లీజ్ నేను పిలుస్తా వెళ్ళి. Yeah, not only that, if we add oxygens to nitrogen, it is called oxidation. Generally these are called N oxides. N oxides, we can write positive charge on nitrogen and negative charge on oxygen, or we can simply put a coordinate covalent bond starting from nitrogen to oxygen. Removal of oxygens from nitrogen are called reductions. Okay. Similarly, conversion of nitro group to amine, nitro group to amine, it is called reduction, whereas conversion of amine to nitro, it is called oxidation. It is called oxidation. Similarly, conversion of an azide to amine, conversion of an azide to amine, again it is called reduction. The reverse process is called oxidation. This is nitro, this is amine. So not only carbon, but for any element, addition of oxygens is called oxidation, removal of oxygens is called reduction, addition of hydrogens is called reduction, elimination of removal of hydrogens is called oxidation. For example, if we oxidize sulfur, this is called dimethyl sulfide. When we oxidize it, we will get sulfur oxide. If we further oxidize it, we get sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. So this is oxidation. Again, this is also oxidation, but the reverse is reduction. So this is how we can take a basic definition of oxidations. Yeah, take it fast. I'm going to change this. If you haven't completed, please take a snapshot. Right. We will start giving some oxidizing agents. Ozone, hydrogen peroxide, This is iodoxylic acid. I don't know exactly the name. Lead 4, MnO4 minus, like a KMnO4, otherwise dichromate ion, potassium dichromate. These are all powerful oxidizing agents. So its oxidation potential varies from 1.4 to 2 electron volts. So these are all more powerful oxidizing agents. So they can easily oxidize other compounds. So that is why they are called more powerful oxidizing agents. On the other hand, we also have mild oxidizing agents like manganese dioxide, ruthenium tetroxide, silver oxide, copper sulfate. These are all mild oxidizing agents. I'll give the oxidation potential here itself. It is 0.59 electron volts. It is 0.34 electron volts. It is 0.15 electron volts. These are all called mild oxidizing agents. You don't need to remember these oxidation potentials. Okay, I'm just giving for a comparison. So ozone, hydrogen peroxide, iodine oxides, lead oxide, lead tetraestate, manganese, potassium permanganate, sodium dichromate. These are all powerful oxidizing agents, whereas manganese oxide, ruthenium oxide, silver oxide, copper sulfate, these are all mild oxidizing agents. You can compare their oxidizing power. Generally, what we say, uh, with decrease in the number of oxygen atoms, the oxidizing power will also decrease, or with increase in the negative charge, the oxidizing power will also decrease. Okay, with the decrease in the number of oxygens, the oxidizing power will decrease, or with increase in the negative charge increasing. So that means the positive charge on the metal is decreasing. Here it is +7, here it is +6, here it is +5. Okay, so if the positive charge on metal decreases, its oxidizing power also comes down. We can also compare ease of oxidation of organic compounds. Generally, we will oxidize three types of oxygen functional groups. They are aldehydes. Aldehydes can be oxidized to carboxylic acids. So aldehydes can be oxidized. So aldehydes have the highest oxidizing power. Ketones, because they are bonded to two other carbons, we cannot further oxidize ketones. Then we can oxidize more easily primary alcohols. Primary alcohols are easy to oxidize. Next to aldehydes, then secondary alcohols. I will also give the oxidation potentials. It is 9.95 electron volts, whereas primary alcohol will have around 10 electron volts. For secondary alcohols, it is more than 10. Of course, as I said earlier, you don't need to remember any values, just for comparison. Okay, to make you more appreciate the subject, I am again giving the comparisons. So aldehydes can be easily oxidized compared to primary alcohols or secondary alcohols. Among primary and secondary, primary alcohols can be easily oxidized. Then double bonds can be easily oxidized compared to triple bonds. Double bonds can be easily oxidized compared to triple bonds. For example, the oxidation potentials for double bond is 9.13 electron volts, whereas for triple bond it is 10.36 electron volts. So that means double bonds can be easily oxidized compared to triple bonds. Not only that, phosphorus reagents and sulfur reagents, they also can be easily oxidized. Of course, phosphorus reagents are more easily oxidized compared to sulfur. The oxidation potential values are 8.6 electron volts. It is 8.68 electron volts. So among all these compounds, phosphorus reagents can be easily oxidized than sulfur compounds. So if you want to if you want to add an oxygen on phosphorus, yes, it is easy. So if there is an oxygen which we need to eliminate in any organic compound, that means if you want to remove an oxygen like a hydroxy group, then it can be easily achieved by adding phosphorus, because phosphorus or sulfur can easily form a bond between phosphorus and oxygen. So oxygen will come up with phosphorus. So in that way, we can easily remove hydroxy groups from organic compounds by adding or by treating with phosphorus reagents. So that is why these are used as, can be used for oxygen removal since they can easily be oxidized. Okay, generally phosphorus and sulfur reagents are used as oxygen removing agents. So from Thursday onwards, we will have class in the morning itself from 11 to 1 o'clock. So please download Cisco WebEx app. We will shift our online platform to Cisco WebEx. So from Thursday onwards, I can take 2 hours. So now I'm just taking only 1 hour 20 minutes, but from Thursday onwards, I can take 2 hours. So 11 to 1. I hope all of you are free, so there will be no problem in attending the classes. At the same time, I'm also planning to record the classes while I'm taking them, so that afterwards I can upload them in our group also. Okay, if someone is missing the class, you can listen to this whenever you are free. Right, I'm going to change this. So basically, oxidations in this chapter are conversion of alcohols to carbonyls. So what is this chapter is concerned? This chapter entire topic on oxidations is concerned of converting this alcohol to C double bond O. If it is an alcohol, of course in this case it is ketone, but uh, alcohol to aldehyde or alcohol to ketone, and in some cases alcohol to carboxylic acids. So this is the entire topic. Even if you don't know any organic chemistry, then you just remember this point. There is a carbon oxygen single bond. When we add some oxidizing agent, it will generate carbon oxygen double bond. So what do we need to know? We just need to know what are oxidizing agents. What are oxidizing agents? If we know the oxidizing agents, yes, what is the starting material? It will be an alcohol. What is the product? It may be an aldehyde, a ketone, a carboxylic acid. It depends on the uh, alcohol, and it depends on the oxidizing agent. Okay, so these are the only two variations, right? So we will learn some oxidizing reagents. I'll start with strong oxidizing reagents. One is chromium trioxide. Chromium trioxide, where chromium is in, this is the structure of chromium trioxide. Chromium trioxide. So chromium is in +6 oxidation state. Chromium is most stable in +6 oxidation state. It is also stable in +3 oxidation state. So chromium, which is in +6 oxidation state, will generally in orange color. When it oxidizes some organic compound, what happens? Chromium will be converted, chromium 6 will be converted to chromium 3. Chromium 6 will be converted to chromium 3 or He3CrO3. When we do oxidation with chromium reagent, chromic acid undergoes reduction. So it oxidizes organic compound, but it itself undergoes reduction. So chromium 6 will be converted to chromium 3. What is the advantage of this reaction? When the reaction is completed, the chromium 6, which is initially orange in color, will now be converted into either blue or bluish green. We can easily predict whether the reaction is occurring or not. If you are oxidizing an alcohol with a chromium 6 reagent, initially it will be in orange color. When the oxidation starts, chromium 6 will be reduced to chromium 3. If this process is occurring, orange color will be converted to blue or bluish green color. So in that way, we can easily predict whether a reaction is happening or not. Okay, of course, the completion of the reaction we may not predict visually. That means if even half of the reaction is completed, we can easily observe blue or bluish green color. So whether the reaction is completed or not, we cannot expect by visual observation. Okay, but still we can have some idea. If the intensity of this color is very high, if it is gradually increasing, and at one stage if we observe there is no change in the intensity of this color, then we can say okay, the reaction is completed. Okay, but the visual observation is not perfect. Okay, so what is happening when we do oxidation of an alcohol or an organic compound with chromium 6 reagent, chromium trioxide, it will be converted to chromium 3. The initial orange color will be converted to either blue or bluish green color. Yeah, please take it. I'm going to change this. Yeah, I'm changing this. Please take a snapshot, otherwise. This is chromium in +6 oxidation state, chromium in +3 oxidation state. Right. The next oxidizing reagent is chromic acid H2CrO4. The structure of chromic acid is like this. It will have two double bonds to oxygen and two single bonds to oxygen. So this is called chromic acid. In chromic acid also, chromium is again in +6 oxidation state. The oxidation state of chromium is +6. Most of the oxidizing reagents, chromium oxidizing reagents, the starting material will be in +6 oxidation state. How do we prepare this? This can be simply prepared by treating chromium trioxide with water. So it gives H2CrO4. It's not a critical reaction. Whenever you want to use chromic acid, just mix chromium trioxide. Chromium trioxide is available, commercially available. Just mix water. So we will get chromic acid. Next reagent is potassium dichromate, K2Cr2O7. Of course, sodium dichromate or potassium dichromate. Sorry. Yeah, I'll give the structure of potassium dichromate. In potassium dichromate, there will be an ethereal bond between chromium. So two chromium atoms are linked together via an oxygen, and this will be O minus Cr2O7. Then the counter ions are potassium ions. Of course, again chromium is in +6 oxidation state. Next, Jones reagent. What is Jones reagent? Jones reagent is nothing but chromium trioxide in acetone, and we also add a little amount of H2SO4, concentrated H2SO4. This is what is called Jones reagent. CrO3 in acetone plus a little amount of concentrated H2SO4 is called Jones reagent. Next, Saret's reagent. What is Saret's reagent? Saret's reagent is nothing but a chromium, again chromium trioxide complexed with a pyridine molecule, or we can say chromium trioxide in pyridine. Here the solvent itself is pyridine. Okay, it is a complex with chromium trioxide, solvent also pyridine. So how do we prepare this? We can easily prepare this by dissolving chromium trioxide in pyridine. Okay, what is pyridine? Pyridine is a heterocyclic aromatic ring. So there will be a coordinate covalent bond between chromium and nitrogen. I'm sorry. There will be a coordinate covalent bond between nitrogen and chromium. So it is a complex of chromium trioxide with two molecules of pyridine. That is what generally called as Saret's reagent. In Saret's oxidation, we use pyridine itself as the solvent. Pyridine itself as the solvent. But remember, exposure to pyridine is dangerous. Next, Collins reagent. What is Collins reagent? Collins reagent is again chromium trioxide complexed with two molecules of pyridine, but here the solvent is DCM. What is DCM? Dichloromethane. Okay, Collins reagent is again chromium trioxide complexed with two molecules of pyridine, but the solvent is DCM. Next, PCC. What is PCC? Pyridinium chlorochromate. Pyridinium. What is pyridinium? If we add an H plus on pyridine, it becomes pyridinium ion. So this is pyridinium chromate. Oh, sorry, pyridinium chlorochromate. So CaO. This is oxygen negatively charged. So O minus pyridinium ion positive charge. So this is pyridinium chlorochromate, PCC. PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate. Generally it is called as Corey-Suggs reagent. Generally it is called as Corey-Suggs reagent. So the general story, like initially it is orange color, and when the reaction is completed it becomes blue or bluish green. So that story is again a common thing. Okay, I think the time is completing. Yeah, we will start again. Okay, if the session ends we will restart again. Yeah, this is Corey-Suggs reagent, PCC. Generally it has some disadvantages. What are disadvantages? Basically it is of course it is not that strong as chromic acid or chromium trioxide. It is milder compared to chromic acid or Jones reagent, something like that, but still it is a strong acid. It is acidic in nature. This reagent is mild acidic in nature. Of course, the above reagents are all acidic in nature except Saret's reagent, Collins reagent. So we will be careful whenever we have some acid sensitive functional groups in the in our starting materials. Okay, so again this reagent is mild acidic in nature. So for oxidations, so for oxidation of compounds containing acid sensitive functional groups, acid sensitive functional groups, PCC is buffered by adding sodium acetate. Sodium acetate is a base, is a mild base. So whenever there are some acid sensitive functional groups in the molecule and you want to do oxidation using PCC, so what we need to do is add sodium acetate along with PCC, so that the extra acidic nature of PCC will be neutralized by sodium acetate. Okay, if we don't add sodium acetate, because PCC is an acidic compound, it will easily deprotect the acid sensitive functional groups. Yeah, that can be the mild acidic nature of PCC can be overcome by adding sodium acetate. So absolutely there is no problem with the PCC now. I think the class time has been extended.